Kemba Walker signing with the Boston Celtics, Houston's new plan to compete, the Warriors are scrambling, and LeBron's sacrifice. That is what we have to cover today and more. But first, a quick message from this video sponsor. Fresh off the heels of yet another disappointing first-round playoff exit, it's clear that if Russell Westbrook and the OKC Thunder want to have a better shot at competing next season, that something is going to have to change within the organization. And for a team that has very limited financial flexibility in terms of being able to sign free agents right now, a trade to mix things up is probably the only solution here. And one name that has been mentioned in rumors thus far is the name of Steven Adams, a mainstay in OKC, and a player that not just Thunder fans but also fans around the league have come to admire for his team-first attitude, as well as for being one of the best offensive rebounders that the NBA has to offer. It's no question that if the Thunder had the ability to land another star-level player while at the same time keeping Adams, they would. But unfortunately, the only way for the Thunder to add said star-level player would be by trading one of the stars that they already have. And with Russell Westbrook and Paul George being off the table as far as trade goes, Steven Adams seems to be the only option. And that is why we are now getting reports out saying that a trade between the Cleveland Cavaliers and the OKC Thunder could be one that goes down this summer, in which the Thunder sent Steven Adams to Cleveland in exchange for Kevin Love. Now, the name Kevin Love might not be the most attractive name of the market, considering he did just get into a 4-year, $120 million contract extension at the beginning of last season. However, he would be a valuable third option on offense, as well as give the Thunder a big man who has to be respected from beyond the arc, as Love was able to shoot a respectable 36% from 3 during his injury-riddled season that he had with the Cleveland Cavaliers. As for the Cleveland Cavaliers, this move would free up some cap space for them sooner rather than later, as the contract of Steven Adams is set to come off the books in just 2 more seasons as opposed to the 4 seasons that Love is owed. As well as the rumored trade package would also include young players such as Terrence Ferguson and Hamidou Diallo. Look, there hasn't been much steam around this particular trade just yet. However, OKC is for sure going to be a team to keep an eye on to make some big moves this offseason. Next up, it goes without saying that this has to be a massive offseason for the Phoenix Suns. After once again finishing with the worst record in the NBA and with Devin Booker growing restless for a spot in the playoffs, Phoenix is not only going to have to hope that its young players step up to the plate this year, but also that they land the help of one particular free agent, D'Angelo Russell, aka one of Devin Booker's closest friends in the league, as we have reports out claiming that if the Suns pass on the opportunity to sign Russell, that very well could be the last straw that prompts Booker to request a trade, which is scary news for Phoenix Suns fans because it almost sounds like D'Angelo Russell or bust. However, I should also note that if the Suns do miss out on Booker, that it won't be for their lack of trying, as the Phoenix Suns front office has said on numerous occasions that they will be including Devin Booker in every free agency decision that they make, and the fear of losing out on Booker for refusing to sign a star-level point guard such as D'Angelo Russell, who could grow with Booker as well as the rest of this young Phoenix Suns team, would be too real and too great for them to ever let happen. So with Kyrie Irving likely heading to Brooklyn, it's really sounding as if Russell will end up with the Wolves or the Suns. So Suns fans, I guess you would just better hope that it's with you guys. Next up in the news, we just mentioned how Kyrie Irving is going to be signing with the Brooklyn Nets, meaning that the Boston Celtics would have a hole to fill at the point guard position, and the Celtics are already aware of this, it seems. They know that Kyrie Irving most likely won't be coming back, and they have already turned their eyes on their next target, Kemba Walker, a player who would easily be one of the best Kyrie Irving replacements that you could get. As we got reports out earlier today from NBA insider Adrian Wojnarowski, who said that not only are the Celtics interested in adding Kemba Walker, but a deal is pretty much already done, as Boston is planning to renounce their rights to restricted free agent Terry Rozier, which would then free up $32 million in cap space that they could offer to Kemba Walker. And for Walker, who talked about his desire to play in a winning environment numerous times throughout the course of the season, the Celtics would be far from the worst choice. Whether or not this actually goes down though, we'll just have to see. Either way, like the Thunder, expect the Celtics to be one of the busiest teams this summer, as they get to fill a hole that might be left by not only Kyrie Irving should he really leave, but also by Al Horford, who recently opted out of the last year of his $100 million deal that he signed with Boston a few years back. For our next story of the day, earlier on in the summer, there was a lot of speculation that Chris Paul will be the player who was leaving the Houston Rockets this offseason, with reports coming out saying that Paul had officially requested a trade from Houston, and some reports even saying that the relationship between Harden and Paul is so bad right now that a trade is the only option. Turns out, though, that none of that was true, as now reports say that Paul never did request a trade from the Rockets, but he did let management know that there will be no hard feelings if they did trade him. From the sound of things, though, trading Chris Paul would not be Houston's first option, as they still believe that they can compete with the backcourt of Harden and Paul if they were able to land a player whom they've been trying to land for a while now, Jimmy Butler. As we got more reports from Adrian Wojnarowski stating that Houston has been offering Clint Capella, Eric Gordon, and PJ Tucker to teams individually in order to clear up enough cap space and also land a high enough future first-round draft pick so they will be able to perform a sign and trade with the Philadelphia 76ers for Jimmy Butler. And this report got even more interesting this morning, as the Boston Celtics are now looking to get into the mix as well. Once again, we just mentioned how the Celtics are going to need to fill a hole that will be left by Al Horford this summer at the center position, and there had been rumblings before about the Celtics supposedly being interested in Clint Capella. So now people are starting to believe that the Celtics could join discussions with the Rockets and the Sixers to make some kind of three-way trade work out. Essentially, the Celtics will get Capella, the Rockets Butler, and then the Sixers would get a draft pick from Boston as well as other assets in exchange for Butler. However, all of this does come down to Jimmy Butler though, as the only way the Sixers would trade him in the first place was if he informed them that he had no intentions of signing with the team. Also in the news, one minor question that was being asked in the wake of the massive trade that sent Anthony Davis to the Los Angeles Lakers was, who is going to be giving up the number 23, LeBron or AD? Most people at the time thought it would be Davis, since LeBron was already wearing the number 23 for the Lakers, and of course he is LeBron James. However, we just found out that it will actually be LeBron James who changes his jersey number, as he will let AD wear the number 32. Like I said, this is a very minor news update, but it's an update nonetheless. As for LeBron, no official word has come out on what his new number will be, but my guess is he'll just return to the number 6 that he toted during his Miami days. And now for what will be our final story of the day. Yesterday, Kevin Durant officially declined his $31.5 million player option that he had with the Warriors, which was no big surprise as that is what he was expected to do. However, what does come as a bit more of a surprise is the news that we just got on Durant today, as not only has Kevin Durant just sold his home in Malibu for $13.5 million, even though the house was listed up for sale back in April, it's just now official, but we also got news out that Kevin Durant has pretty much ghosted every NBA team out there, including the Golden State Warriors, and the Golden State Warriors in particular are scrambling to do anything they can in order to make sure Kevin Durant not only doesn't leave, but if he does leave, that they are able to get something in return for him, that they're able to perform a sign and trade according to ESPN's Brian Windhorst. Now, the 4 teams that Durant is most expected to sign with are the Warriors, the Nets, the Knicks, and the Clippers. And like I said, not a single one of them has heard a peep from Durant, as Durant has said that he is uninterested in hearing big pitches or going to these free agency meetings with teams to decide his next destination. And instead, he's going to be doing a similar thing to what LeBron James did last year when he made his decision to join the Los Angeles Lakers. And that is just talk it up privately with a small circle and his agent back in New York. That though is going to cover all of the news for this video. Free agency is set to tip off right after the weekend, and now that I finally have my health back and under control, I'll be here bringing you guys updates as they come out. Till then though, thank you so much for watching. You guys already know that you are the real MVPs, and until next time, I'm out of here. Peace!